Juggalos! Welcome to the Zug Thug Hotline. Today is Tuesday, probably Wednesday by the time we update it. Late Wednesday night, as a matter of fact. But anyway, today is Tuesday, supposed to be. Although Tuesday's almost gone right now. Anyway, shut up! These are the results to my... Oh, this is the part 2 to Valente's True Tales from the Past of Joseph Frank Bruce. I'm on Tuesday. Last Tuesday I did part 1.
Right. We'll fuck it all up. But anyway, go ahead.
Alright. Anyway, so here goes this is the result. This is the part 2. This is my revenge. If you remember correctly, last week I told the story about my friend who lives in Toronto, and I took a bus up there to stay with him when I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I jumped in the pool at the community center, and they didn't meet me at the doors when I was trying to escape the lifeguards and everything, and I ran out of the building, and I got lost in Toronto, and I didn't know where I was, and my friend sold me out because he ended up staying up in the balconies with these bitches, or this bitch or whatever, and he sold me out. So I couldn't get revenge because I was staying with him in Toronto and broke, and I couldn't just punch him and walk home or nothing. So I vowed one day, I said, Paul, that was his name, I said, I'm going to get major revenge on you. And then I said, next week I'll tell you what I did in my revenge, and here goes the story of my revenge. About 4 years later, when I was 19 years old, I reunited with Paul, my friend from Toronto. And Paul was chilling with some people he knew in Milford, Michigan. Anyway, to make a long story short, I said to Paul, Paul, man, let's get together tomorrow because this bitch I know, she lives way out by Toledo, which is mad far from Milford, or where Paul lives. Anyway, I said, man, I know this hot bitch, dog, and she told me to bring a friend and blah, blah, blah. So the following day, I went and picked Paul up out in Milford, where he was staying with his father. His father lived in Milford, and his mother lived in Toronto. Anyway, he was staying with his father, and I went and picked him up, and away we went driving. As we're driving, I'm telling him all about how great this is going to be, and how these bitches give bomb-ass head, and it's just going to be the shit. And if the head's right, we're going to be the A-night. You know what I mean? So we're driving out there, man, and I'm talking about how they're going to cook us breakfast in the morning, and they got wrestling tapes from back in the day, and it's just going to be awesome, and he's getting all excited. And so then we start, actually, in reality, I'm driving toward fucking, I don't know, Saginaw, somewhere way up in the boons, you know? I'm driving, and I don't even know where the fuck I'm going, but I'm going as far away from the freeway as I can. And he's like, you know where you're going? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm acting like I'm following these directions. And I'm driving out in the middle of boonies, and then finally there's cornfields, and I'm just driving down dirt roads, right? And he's like, God damn, these bitches live out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, I know, but just shut up, it's going to be the bomb when we get there. So we get out to the desolate grounds of humanity in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the middle of Michigan's glove, not even untouched by man. I don't know where the fuck we are. There's not even telephone poles within miles around. And what do? I stop the car, and I grab my trusty can of mace. That's why my brother sent me some mace. It's actually tear gas from the Army, but it's like a little can of mace, very dangerous. And I looked at, and this is from back in the day, and I looked at Paul and I said, get out. And he said, what? And I said, get out of the car or I'm going to mace you. I said, you're my homie, so I ain't going to be able to beat your ass, but I can easily just mace you. So get out. And why are you doing this to me? And I said, because don't you remember back in the day, back in Toronto, motherfucker, when we were 16, you sold me out, and here's my revenge. Get out of the fucking car, motherfucker. And away he got. He got out. And it took me an hour to find my way back to our main road, but I found a road only imagine how many miles and miles he had to walk through desolate cornfields to find a phone to call somebody, only to tell him he has no idea where the fuck he's at. It's absolutely perfect revenge. If I don't say so myself, I'd have done it again. I wouldn't change one fucking little thing about that fucking revenge. That's a great story. Yeah, I got sold out. I froze to death in the freezing cold streets of Toronto, lost, but think of the June bug.